All right, let's just jump right in. We're going to talk about a really fascinating idea about power. I'm not talking about the obvious kind, the CEO in the big office or the king on the throne. No, this is something sneakier. It's a kind of influence that works completely in the shadows, with no public face at all.
Just let that sink in for a minute. It's this really Machiavellian idea, and it totally flips everything we think we know about leadership upside down. I mean, we're always taught that power means being seen, right? Being visible. But what if? What if that's all wrong? What if the real power, the most effective kind, is all about shaping things from behind the scenes without anyone ever knowing it was you?
And yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? It's the central mystery. How in the world can you control the whole chessboard if nobody even knows you're playing? Well, that is exactly what we are going to unpack today.
Okay, so to get our heads around this, we've got to figure out where this kind of power actually lives. And, a little spoiler for you, it's probably not where you think it is.
You know how it is. We're just trained to look for the person on the stage, right? The one giving the speech, the face in the spotlight. But this whole idea suggests that's just a distraction. The real game, the actual decisions, are being made backstage. There's this invisible director pulling all the strings.
So if the power's not out in the open, how does it actually work? How is it used? Well, this gets us to the absolute core of the strategy. It's the whole mechanism behind this hidden influence, and it all comes down to one thing: using proxies.
And boom, here it is, the puppet master frame. Now look closely at this definition. The most important word here, the real genius of it, is that last one, blame. See, this isn't just about letting someone else take the credit for your good ideas. No. It's an absolutely brilliant way to make sure you're protected from any of the bad stuff. The proxy, they're your human shield.
This chart just lays it all out perfectly, doesn't it? On one side, you have your typical leader. They want the spotlight. And with that spotlight comes all the risk. But the puppet master, they run from the spotlight. They orchestrate everything, but they let their proxy, their public face, soak up all the credit and, crucially, take all the heat when things go south. It's the ultimate power fantasy. All of the influence, none of the accountability.
And here's the playbook. It's basically a 3-step masterclass in control from a distance. Step 1, you find someone willing, and you push them out onto the stage. You seed that spotlight. Step 2, you guide them, you influence them, but you do it so subtly there are no fingerprints. Nothing leads back to you. And then step 3, this is the real killer move. When it all goes wrong, and it sometimes does, who's left on stage facing the music? The proxy. Meanwhile, the real architect, the one who planned it all, they just fade back into the shadows, not a scratch on.
But, playing this kind of game isn't without its risks. It's not foolproof. This whole strategy has some pretty serious dangers, and it all boils down to one critical weakness. What happens if you get found out?
Yeah, this is the flip side. This is what can go wrong. For one, your puppet can decide to cut its own strings. A proxy can rebel. And then what do? They expose you. And just like that, you've lost all control. But the absolute worst-case scenario, the biggest risk, is being unmasked. Because think about it, being a failed leader is one thing, but being exposed as a secret manipulator, the public backlash for that is often way, way worse. Your credibility isn't just damaged, it's completely destroyed.
Okay, so now that we have this framework, now that we know what to look for, how can we actually use it? How can we get better at spotting these hidden games being played all around us?
Here's the key. This is the big takeaway. Next time you see some big event unfold in politics, business, doesn't matter where, ask yourself that classic Latin question, cui bono? Who benefits from this? But don't stop there. Add a second question. Who is never around when it's time to assign blame? You put the answers to those two questions together, and you'll very often find your puppet master.
And really, that's the thought I want to leave you with today. This whole idea, it isn't just for some grand historical drama. This happens at every level of life. So just take a look around your world. Who's the one always reaping the rewards, but never ever seems to take any of the risks? Start looking for them. I think you might be surprised at what you discover.